Guys, and welcome back to Open Talk with Mary. So are you really struggling to understand why your woman is not putting any effort into the relationship anymore? Sometimes you might be thinking, well, she is cheating. No, she might not be. And sometimes, yeah, she might be. But there are certain things that I'm going to talk about today that might be contributing to her really backing off in the relationship. The first point is that your own expectations as a man in the relationship are very unrealistic. There are certain men who come into the relationship with a mindset that they only want to be saved, but they don't want to save the other partner. So they're basically saying, I am the man of the house. I expect my woman to do as I please. I expect her to do what I want, and I'm not going to do anything for her in return apart from providing for her only. But you have to realize that being the man of the house doesn't mean that you are a dictator in the relationship. Being the man of the house, it simply means that you are a leader and also a servant. So if you are going to come with a mindset that you only want to be served, yes, your woman might do it for a certain period of time, but she will come to a point of saying to herself, you know what, I am fed up with it and I'm going to retaliate. So she will stop putting the same effort that she used to at the beginning, because she's seeing that she's only giving and she's not receiving anything in return. If we're going to look at it in the biblical way, when God made Eve, he said, I am making Adam a helper. He never said, I am making Adam a servant. So if you are going to come in the relationship with the mindset of being the king and expecting your wife to be the servant, your girlfriend to be the servant, I'm sorry, but as time goes on, you'll be disappointed, because she'll come to a point of saying, this is not healthy for me and I just need to protect myself, and she will start, to not put any effort into the relationship anymore as a sign of punishing you. The second thing is that she might not be aware of the expectations that you are expecting of her in the relationship. So it is better for you to sit down and talk to her. Communication is what keeps the relationship going. If you are going to assume that she's not putting any effort from her part, she might be thinking that she's doing the best. But until you communicate with her and you tell her how you feel without raising your voice and with respect, she's going to understand where you are coming from. So ask her and tell her your own expectations so that she becomes aware of them. The third thing is that there are some men who think sex is the only thing that they have to bring on the table. They fail to respect their woman. You lay your hand on your woman, you call her names, and at the end of the day, you expect her to come and put an effort into the relationship. It doesn't work that way. Once a woman feels disrespected and unvalued in the relationship, one way or the other, she's going to retaliate. And you have to realize that she might be saying to yourself, apart from sex, what does this man has to offer me? And she'll be like, nothing. He doesn't respect me. He doesn't do A, B, C, D. So what he just does is, to give me sex. It's not only sex that I want in the relationship. So I think it is a mindset that you have to remove, that a woman only expects good sex in a relationship. Yes, it is important. Don't get me wrong. It is important, yeah. It does hold the relationship, but there are certain things that other women can look into apart from sex. So you have to understand that sex is not gonna build the relationship that you want. It's not going to give you the expectations and fulfill the expectations that you are expecting from her. Which goes to my other point number 4, is that the infatuation stage might be starting to fade off. So when you first meet someone, you become attached to them, you become infatuated with them. It isn't love. This is what I always tell people, that when you first meet someone, it is the feelings, it is the attraction, it is infatuation. As time goes on, love will start to develop. That is where there are stages in a relationship. So once the infatuation begins to, to fade off, things start to change in a relationship. That is something that you cannot control, because it is a natural thing that those stages happen in any kind of a relationship. So she might not be realizing, or both of you might not be realizing, that the infatuation stage has now faded. It is now a time that reality has kicked in. And maybe she's starting to realize that she once called you perfect, but apparently you are not perfect. She's starting to see, those other sides of you that she doesn't like. Maybe you're controlling, maybe this and that. And she's starting to notice all of those things that she didn't notice while she was being infatuated. So now that she's seeing those things and she's looking at you and saying, you know what? This is not the person that I thought he is. This is not the person that I want to build a life with. So instead of her coming to you straight and saying, I cannot do it anymore, she'll be telling herself, let me give it a try. Maybe things will go back to the way they are. But we fail to understand as people that there are stages in every kind of a relationship. It doesn't matter whether relationships are different, they go through the same stage. And the infatuation stage fades off as time goes on. So you have to realize that in the beginning, she might be all lovey-dovey, all this and that. But once the infatuation stage has faded off, reality kicks in and things begin to change. That is how relationships are. It isn't your fault. It isn't her fault. That is how each and every relationship is. Which comes to my point of number 5. So the other thing is she might be looking at you and feeling like you are a weak man. So at the end of the day, you are not that kind of a man that she was expecting. So she's not going to put any effort into the relationship anymore. What do I mean? She thinks you are a weak man. There are strong women like me out there who wants to be challenged in the relationship. There are some women who are born a bit controlling in the relationship. Or let's take a look at this way and say there is a woman, you meet a woman who is independent. She has known how to live life in her own terms. And you meet that kind of a woman, you have to understand that it's going to take a lot from her to shift from that sphere, to shift from that, continent of hers that she's living in, and realize that now there is another person that she has to put effort into. But if you are a weak and you are failing sometimes to tell her, no, you cannot do things that way, she will look at you and say, this man is not challenging in my life in any way. I want him, to actually tell me that you cannot do these things. But he's only going with me, and saying, it's fine all the time. As women, we want a challenging man. We don't want a man who just says, yes, ma'am, and that's it. This is not a job. It's a relationship. You face your partner and you tell them things that they are doing that are wrong or that are hurting you. But if you're going to keep them in just because you are scared, there are men or there are people in the relationship that become scared of voicing out their own things to their partners. So if you're that kind of a man and your woman is clever enough to see that in you, she's going to feel like disappointed and saying, this man is weak. He is really weak and is not the kind of a man that I desire. So until you speak to her and know the kind of a man that she expects you to be, then she's going to back off in the relationship because she will be disappointed. Which comes to my other point. There are men who are mama's boys. I'm going to tell you that is a put off for any kind of a relationship. Because what you've got to understand is that when a woman comes into a relationship, she didn't come to compete with your mother. But if you're not going to make her a priority, we are going to make your mother a priority. And once your mother maybe doesn't need your attention at that time, you now shift into her, then that is going to be a turn off. She will see that one way or the other, you are a mama's boy. Nothing is a put off in a relationship like a man who is a mama's boy. It's better, when he is a young boy, around 21 going down. But from there, especially maybe you are a 35-year-old man and you are a mama's boy. I mean, that is really a put off. And you might not be realizing, but it is a put off because at the end of the day, as a woman, I didn't come to compete with your mother. And out of respect, I will not compete with her. I'll just let you be. But at the end of the day, I'll be much disappointed in you. And once I am that way, I'm not going to put any effort into the relationship. Which comes to my point of number 6. Is that maybe she is not really interested in you. I know how hateful it sounds. I know how painful it sounds. But there are some women out there who are only interested in what men have. And you have to realize that once she is not interested in you and she's only interested in what you have, then she's not going to put any effort into the relationship. She doesn't value you in any kind of a way. She only values what you have. I know it's a bitter truth, But for those who know the ways that they are slay queens, it's those kinds of women who only want what a man has. That's why you can see them being 19 and dating a 95-year-old, dating an 80-year-old. I'm not saying true love is not there. It is there. But in some cases, if you're going to see a young woman like me dating someone who is old enough to be my grandfather, truly speaking, let's talk about it. Is it real love, or something is like making me to be in that relationship? So there are some women who are in a relationship just because they want what the men have. They are looking at the wheel, they are looking at the cars, they are looking at the house. I know how painful it is, and I know some girls, are going to bash me for this, but it is a fact. We all know it, guys. It is a fact. There are some women who are only after the wealth. They are not after the love. So once they are not after the love, they are not going to put any effort. And you'll be so in love with them that sometimes you find it so hard to realize that they're not putting any effort until it's too late, until you have signed the will. Until you have signed the will, and then you realize that, you know what? She doesn't love me. She doesn't put any effort. She only wanted what I have, and she has gotten it. But it will be too late. And maybe sometimes it might not be too late. But I'm just sharing with you that these are some of the things that women do and that you've got to look out for. So look at him, and with actions, you can tell when someone loves you and when they don't. If they are forcing themselves, you can tell. And you know what? What I always believe is, it doesn't matter that someone can lie with their mouth. The eyes reflect what lies in the heart. If you know how to look at your partner and know when they are lying, if you look in their eyes, you will know when they are lying, because the eyes, they don't lie. The mouth can lie. You can try and practice it today. I'm telling you, go out there and practice what I'm saying. I'm telling you, the eyes, they reflect what lies on the heart. Which comes to my point of number 8. Sometimes, guys, you really make us to turn from a good woman into an evil woman. She has given a lot into the relationship, and you failed. You failed as a man, to give that back. And as woman, we really, really value a man who is with us in times of troubles, in times of needs, in tough times. But there are some men that I've seen that even during the birth of your kids, you are not there. You are not at work, but you've gone out with your friends, you've gone out somewhere, and then at the end of the day, you expect your woman to still show you some love, to still put some effort into the relationship. But when she needed you the most, you were not there. So you have to realize that, where did you go wrong that made her to change? Sit down with her and ask, where did I go wrong? Why are you not the way you used to anymore? And she will tell you the truth, that she is hurt. Maybe she has, some lumps inside of her, some pain, some grudges that she's holding against you, and you don't know. That's why the reason she has changed. And no, a woman never forgets how a man treated her when she needed him the most. Which comes to my other point number 9. I know this might be the horrible thing to say, guys, but it is a fact also. There are people that are naturally toxic, people that are called narcissists. Yeah, you all know that. So she might be one of those people who really think they are better than someone in the relationship. So at the end of the day, they expect you to do things for them. They don't expect to meet your own needs. So there are some people who are like that. And it becomes more painful, especially when she knows that there is no consequence for what she's doing. She knows you're not going to dump her. She knows you're obsessed with her. She knows you're all over her. So at the end of the day, she's going to control you like this, because she knows there is no consequence. So if you're going to dump her today for what she's failing to do and go back tomorrow, she knows you keep coming back. No matter what you do, you keep coming back to her, baby. She knows. So at the end of the day, nothing is going to change. The fact that you are not standing by your word, when she messes up, nothing is going to change. It's going to be a roller coaster. That will be the story of your life. So you have to realize that there are some people who are toxic, and I'm sorry, but you have to walk away. Which comes to my point of number 10. There are men who are really needy in the relationship, Codependency, especially when it's coming from a man, it's a real turn off. I mean, you're not giving me time to be with my friends, to be with my family. You always want me to be around you. You're calling me, you're texting me. I feel like, it's overwhelming. You're now the reason why a woman has anxiety, has depression, because she feels like you are really overwhelming. Your needs are overwhelming. What you're expecting of her is really overwhelming. So at the end of the day, she's just going to retaliate. She'll be like, you know what? I am fed up of him being needy. I want him to go out with his friends. I want him to go on a boys trip. He doesn't want. I've said it to him many times. He doesn't want. He wants to be stuck with me. That is a turn off. I'm sorry, but it is. So I wish you luck, guys. So go back to your woman and ask her the reason why she's not putting any effort into the relationship. Don't yell, don't shout. No, just ask her honestly and tell her how you feel. Then she will tell you the reason why she has laid off in the relationship. So thank you so much, and I cannot wait to hear your comments and your likes and your thumbs up and any messages that you want to ask me. I cannot wait for them. And thank you so much, guys. Until next time, do take care. Bye.